how can I help you, Rhys? What is this going to be about? What do you think will be a conversation that can change your life potentially, hopefully for the better? I'm sure it will be for the better.
Okay, so this year I got to adopt my word of the year would be execute. And it's so difficult to execute something from scratch, something from nowhere, because parang I really feel like a few years before parang I really wanted to pursue psychology as masters kasi I underwent depression myself, and then after overcoming that struggle parang sabi ko, okay, I think this is something I'd really want others to get out of. And then parang I thought that was my track, but something in me, I think 2023 parang naisip ko maybe life coaching would be another path. And then last year I actually started exploring that. Coached two people like out of just my experiences, parang helping them get into a better version of themselves. And sobrang na-enjoy ko talaga siya. And then there are some people who I still talk to as well who are like having their who are struggling with their mental health. And then it just feels so good to be there for someone who I've also been before. Yung parang I've been in that same state and holding space for these people. And right now, like things are so blank in terms of ano ba yung gagawin ko as a life coach, or how do I become a life coach, or how, yeah, all that. Parang so many questions, but I feel as well na parang that desire is there, but it's not as deep rin eh. Parang kanina yung sinasabi na what's your deepest why, na parang kahit hindi ka matutulog, parang pagod ka or something, you're still gonna do it. Ako, it kind of takes a bit more effort, but I know I want it as well. Yeah, although there have been some moments na when when I was being there for someone, parang okay lang kahit medyo kulang yung tulog ko kasi it was energizing me. So yeah, so in a way, my general question is like how can I be this person that I am desiring to be when I don't have an exact map of how I can be that person. I know I do want it, but I don't know. The other question is also, do I want it that bad? Yeah. So I guess that's it for now. And I think there would be more that would be popping up.
Sasabihin ko pa lang sana, hingang malalim. Nakikita ko na humihinga na siya ng malalim. That was so beautiful. Thank you, Rice, for sharing a piece of your heart with us and giving us a bit of background on who you are, what you went through, and the mission is really beautiful. I feel like it's a very um, powerful path to pursue. I could say so for myself, you know, and the fact that you're here, all the divine synchronicities that you have already encountered just within the last 24 hours, and just you having this conversation, just forget about everyone else in the room right now, and just consider that for a second, that you're having this conversation with me, and maybe it's not even me, maybe this is your higher self coming to you now, just so you can hear it from someone else more directly. Because I'm pretty sure you've already heard all these words somewhere within yourself. Sometimes they would just sound like whispers at nighttime when you're alone. Or maybe sometimes they would appear to you when you're doing something random, like washing the dishes. Maybe when you're in your shower. Maybe when you're in the gym. Maybe when you're having just a moment of presence and beautiful conversation with friends, family members. You've had this nudge and you've had this inner knowing too. And that's okay. And again, for everyone else who's also hearing this right here, right now, I know that you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. We all have that whisper deep within us. The problem is the whisper can sometimes be overpowered by all the other noises around us, all the other voices that's demanding our attention, demanding our energy, demanding our all other resources that we have, pretty much. And for the most part, if you haven't done a lot of work yet in yourself, it's so easy to fall into listening to those voices, right? No. It's so easy to just fall into the trap of believing the louder voices just because they're louder, and the whispers are just whispers. But then everyone will go through this path one way or another. You will start realizing that just because some voices are louder, they don't always deserve our attention. They don't always deserve our faith, our trust, our emotional investment, and our energy. Hinga lang. Once again, guys, thank you so much for being the main channel of the question, because again, I'm answering this not just for you, but for everyone else. But just for you, guys, just forget that anyone else is here. So this whisper that we begin to notice within ourselves can sometimes be a thought or a question, or it can sometimes be a random idea that has a bit of excitement, that just feels more alive than usual. It can come up with a different flavor from time to time, but will always appear like a signal, a nudge. They're not always clear, but they're definitely there. They're definitely present. And this whisper, once you start paying attention to it, once you start training yourself to listen to those nudges, soon enough, the whispers will become actual conversations inside your head. And soon enough, the conversations in your head will start manifesting themselves around you through divine synchronicities. And once you stop calling the divine synchronicities accidents or coincidences or meaningless incidents in your life, you'll start feeling that the nudges are going to get stronger, because where your attention goes is where energy flows. And once we all start tapping into this thing called, do you know what it's called? You know what it's called? Anybody? This thing called intuition. Once we start tapping into this thing we call intuition, every other question will come with an answer. And so there are two things about this. And I know, Rice, that I'm not actually answering your question. I am showing you that you have the answers already. But soon enough, you'll get that. I think you're already getting it to some degree. But this is how I talk to people. Because if I just answer the question, you're not going to get anything else aside from an answer to the question. Instead, we're inspecting where this whole question is coming from. So, as I was saying, once you start noticing that intuition, how it's communicating with you, how the whispers turn into nudges, into conversations, into synchronicities, once you start respecting and honoring this inner knowing and wisdom within you, every step that is required will be revealed exactly when you need it to be revealed. But it is only up to you and no one else that can actually really see them for what they are. Why? Because they're all personally made for you. They're all designed specifically to speak to you in a particular way. And so, even if the same thing, the same words are heard by other people, it will land differently for them. It will impact them in different ways. They will take different actions from you. Just like similar events can happen to different people and they will get different results. Basic example is when COVID hit. I have a group of people who are my friends or business owners who have decided that that means their business is done. And I have another set of people who decided, wow, what an opportunity, because now we have bigger problems. And what else do we do as business owners but provide solutions? Which means if we have bigger problems in front of us, we have bigger opportunities to serve. And so, what determined the fate of those two type of people? It's the response that they chose to take. And the responses are different because the first set of people were too preoccupied with the loud voices and the external things that is happening that they believe is outside of their control. The second group of people, on the other hand, have eventually learned that those whispers and nudges and conversations and synchronicities are all working for them, with them, serving them, supporting them, because they also have a why. So you have a why, Rice. You have a why within you, and it's okay. It's okay not to have it all figured out right now, because that's really what you need to hear. You don't need the how right now. I don't need to give you a blueprint of how to be a coach right now. You'll probably forget it the next day. What you need right now is to believe in your path, the path you have chosen, and to no longer need any other external validation ever to pursue this why, to claim it as yours. Hinga lang. And I can feel, so when I talk to people, I feel their energy and I always almost like channel the message for them. And I can feel that your heart is has been trapped for a while. There has been a wall there that has been hard to break, and it's only recently that you've really started to allow, I would say, the light in your heart to shine a little bit more. And I can see that it's there. It's built a certain momentum. That momentum has been naturally built from your own life experiences. And I can see the magnitude of how much it wants to explode, to share, to shine brighter. So go ahead and just follow that path. When you start trusting your intuition and yourself, you only need the next step, not the next 10. You only need just one small step. Because what happens when you walk just outside, you know? You don't really see where you're heading all the time, even though you have an idea. But when you walk, the scenery moves with you, it evolves with you, and your perception expands. And you did not need to see the 1,110th step, just the next step. That's all you need. When I pursued this path, I resisted like hell. I needed to die a million deaths in my ego to let go of all the attachments that I've had with my previous business, my old life, my old identity, and all of that shebangs. And I was really, 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 really pushed to the limits for me to finally say, fine, universe, I get it. Okay, okay. But I have a deal. Ako pa yung mayabang. No, ako pa yung nakapaghingi ng deal. So I said, if I'm gonna do this, I want to make sure I leave a lasting impact. I want to make sure that we change the whole country. And to do that, I cannot talk to like millions of people in one go. So I said, give me the top 1% who will then be the change makers, or who already have a voice that is already making a change. And I'm pretty happy to say that I have only been met by people with the same fire in their hearts, the same people who want to see change and knows exactly the secret to that change is to start that change within themselves first. That's it. So I know that I didn't really answer your question, Rice, but I know also that you got exactly what you need and more, hopefully. But thank you for the invitation for me to share my insights and to channel for you some of the words that you're probably really needing to hear right now. Do you have any follow-up questions? Sa tanong na hindi ko naman talaga sinagot.
Not necessarily follow-up questions, but feedback, like how, yes, you did not answer my question, but you did answer my question. And only I will know the answer. I'm so sorry, guys. Hindi ko share sa inyo yung answer. Because it makes sense to me. It will not make sense to anyone else. Wow. It will not make sense to anyone else. Um, I don't know if you remember me. My Instagram name is Rhys, and I chatted you back. I think October before the Ignite. It was the week before the Ignite. I told you your podcast changed my life. I was undergoing through a difficult moment, and then your podcast just hit me about timeline shifting, and yeah, there have been like building up. I also went with Ate Joey Cantos, Life Design 101. Um, like, and nagkaroon ako ng awareness about what you were saying about the messages that would be, some people would be taking, and I will take it differently. So let's say I just received a small promo code from an app. The the message of the promo code was like good things happen to good people, and then people would probably take it as like, oh, that's just a promo code. But for me it was like a confirmation of that day. Having such a good day. I helped someone that day, and parang, see, that's your reward. And parang the way you were talking about intuition and all that, I am also practicing manifestation in very small ways. And yeah, it was making sense. It was definitely making sense. And I guess the very clear answer that you gave me, that it was kind of indirect, was that taking steps, just taking it one step at a time, and the scenery will move along with the steps that I'm gonna take. I don't need to know exactly where I'm going, but it's going to be there. And that's how I will fulfill my word of the year, which is execute. It's just taking a step, taking a step. I don't need to take 20 steps, or I don't need to know what is up ahead of me. I just need to take a step and a step. Oh, and super quick share. I shared it dun sa group. I was invited to this to Spark like 2 to 3 hours before before mag-start, and I took that step. I was even at work. I told my boss, can I leave 1 hour early? He said, wag mo na lang sabihin sa ibang tao. And again, I could have chosen to say, ay, hindi ako available, ay, may work pa ako, ay, all those other excuses. And it was raining so bad here. Like, basang-basa yung shoes ko, basang-basa yung damit ko. But I didn't care. I I don't know why I didn't care. I knew this was something. Wow. I knew this was something I had to be in. And yeah, now I'm here face to face with you. And that could be the reason why. Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome, Rice. And thank you again for sharing your heart with us. One last thing that I would leave you with is, and for everyone as well, just know that in whatever pursuit that you choose to have, you can never go wrong as long as you come from love. There are no mistakes, only accomplishments that align with your goals that you have consciously set, or lessons along the way. And even mistakes are part of the journey towards that intention. So let love lead you, and the past will fully reveal itself beautifully, magically. Thank you, Rice. Thank you, everybody.